Welcome to another episode of the Donta Show Network Story Time.
Oh shit, here we go again.
So I'm over here kicking it with the homies, and this little white dude pull up on me. He like, hey, your name Donta? I said, yeah, what's up, white boy? He was like, man, I need your help, man. I really need to talk to you. I'm like, what's up? He said, I need your help. So I said, come walk with me. So, Tarty and Al, them was my bodyguard. So they was like maybe 3 or 4 feet away from, me and this kid, right? Because I don't know what this dude capable of doing. You can be short, you can be white, you can look weak, and you might got that sword adjusted and might trying to plant it in my heart. You know what I mean? So we walk. I'm like, what's up, man? He was like, look, some guys told me that you can protect me in here, and I'm in real big trouble. I'm like, what's going on? He was like, man, to be quite frank, man, this guy is trying to take my ass. I said, what? He was like, yeah. I said, hold up. Do you owe this guy? He said, no. Well, yeah, but not really. I'm like, yeah, but no, but yeah, but not really. What you mean by that? He was like, well, he been giving me things and, for the last month, and now he's asking me for sex. And I told him, no, I'm not like that. And he slapped me and he told me he's been feeding. I said, wait. Tell me, let's start from the beginning. How did you and this guy meet? He was like, well, when I first got here, I didn't have anything. I had nothing at all. And I couldn't even, speak to my mother or my grandparents. So when I got in the cell with this guy, he had a cell phone. He told me like he'd look out for me. He let me call my mother, my grandmother, and he was giving me food every time he cooked a meal. He gave me half of it, and I just thought that he was like looking out for me. But if I would have known, this is what he really wanted, I wouldn't have ever took any of that. I said, who is this guy? He said, Thomas. I said, oh shit, Thomas. He said, what? I said, yeah, this gonna be a problem. Now, for those that don't know who Big Thomas is, I done did a couple stories about him. I'm actually going to do a story, the backstory about Big Thomas on another video. Okay, so y'all know exactly who Big Thomas is, what he was in the street, and how he became who he is today in prison, right? So I'm like, all right, so how much he saying you owe? He like, well, he never said. He just said he just want my ass and he want to F me. I said, all right, look, it's going to cost you. He was like, well, how much? I said, it's going to cost you probably about $250 a week, so $1,000 a month. He was like, I don't know if I can afford that. I said, well, that's just my prices. He was like, you think you could go down to like maybe $500 a month? I said, well, y'all know me. I'm not turning down no money. So I'm like, can you do 6? He was like, 6? I possibly can do that. I possibly can do that. He was like, so when do it start? When do you protect me? When do the protection start? I said, as soon as I get that money on this green dot. He was like, okay, I don't got a phone. You got a phone? So I told Tarty, like, hey man, take him back there, let him get on the phone, and he about to do his ones and twos or whatever. So he's like, all right. So they back there for about 10 minutes or whatever. And I guess he convinced his mama I guess he run the whole play down to his mama and let his mama know, like, hey, look, I'm in trouble in here. Don't contact the prison, because the mama was talking about, do I need to call up there or do I need to come up there? He like, no, do not do that. It's just going to make it way worse for me. Just please send the money. It's this guy in here that's going to protect me. And this just how it is, right? And plus, he only had 5 years, right? So the mama agreed to it, whatever, and the green dot came. So told T like, yeah, we good, right? So I got the crew together. I'm like, listen, y'all, we got to protect this dude. And Big Thomas is out for blood. He want him bad. So I told everybody go mount up. So we went to go get the sword of justices. And you know how that deal go. So Big Thomas was in the law library at this time. So we had our spies, looking for him, because he wasn't on the yard, he wasn't in the chow hall, he wasn't nowhere. So they were like, yo, he in the law library, right? So it's me and the whole clique, right? And we got the white boy with us. Now, before we go on, I know my audience is kind of sensitive. You're like, man, Donta, why you saying the white boy this, white boy that? No. See, there's a difference between a white boy and a white man. Okay, I would never call a white man a white boy. And let me tell y'all the difference. A white man is going to fight. A white man is going to handle his business. A white man is going to, ain't going to be carrying himself as a chump or no punk. He going to get out, right? A white boy, on the other hand, well, I got a white boy, okay? He ain't going to fight. He very timid, very vulnerable, and he going to need some protection. So that's the difference, really, in a nutshell, between a white boy and a white man, okay? A white man ain't soft. A white boy is soft. And that's just how I can put it. So off we go to the law library, right? It's me and the whole crew. We got this little white boy in front of us, right? So when we hit the library, we looking for Big Thomas. And we see him. He over here in the corner reading a book, right? So we get up over there up on him. And he like, what's up? I said, you know this dude? He like, yeah, that's my B. I said, what? He said, that's my B. What's that? What's happening? Why is he with y'all? I said, look, man, you are. He said, no, hold up, man. I know this motherfucker didn't come to you asking for no damn protection. I know this motherfucker didn't come to you asking for no motherfucking protection. I said, yeah, he did. He was like, man, listen, Donta, I respect you and your homies and what y'all got going on, but no, that's my B. That's my B. He owe me, dog. And ain't no, I'll go to hell for this one. I'll go to hell for this. I don't care. I know y'all got y'all knives and y'all try to poke me up, but that, by the time y'all kill me, I'ma kill him. Because that motherfucker owe me everything. So I'm like, oh, hold up, right? Because he done based up on us, right? I'm like, what do he owe you? He was like, man, Donta, not only, the nigga owe me his life. Man, let me just say something to you right quick. Look, I know this dude, and I know his people on the street. His mother reached out to me. His mother, I know this dude from the street, right? This like family in a way. But his mama is a dope fiend. And it been some dudes that been, mistreating her and all type of shit, right? And I got homies out there that been holding her down because she stay in my neighborhood. So in turn, me and him got an arrangement, and now he don't want to go through with it. So basically, he owe me. So I'm like, wait, hold on. So you saying that you know his people out there in the streets, they moved to your old neighborhood, right? And his mama a dope fiend or whatever, and dude's been taking advantage of her, and you done put your homeboys to protect her, and in turn, he owe you for that. Is that what I hear? He like, yeah, man. Yeah, that's why I said I'll die about this one, man. I'll die about this one. I said, okay, look. What do he owe you? He said, man, Donta, this nigga owe me his life, man. Ain't really no price on it. I told him what the deal was, man. I told him what the proposition was, man, for me to do this. I said, okay, but what do that look like? What was the deal? He like, look, this motherfucker owed me $1,000, right? He owed me a G. He owed me a rack. And well, man, I ain't put my business out there, but he owed me something, man. He owed me something twice a week. Look, y'all, he didn't have to tell me what own something mean. I pretty much know what that meant. I said, well, look, man, he wanted to get out the deal. And you already know, if me and my homie said, you know what time it is. He said, listen, Donta, I know whatever. Did he pay y'all yet? I said, yeah, he already paid me. He was like, man, listen, I'm not trying to get into it with y'all, man, but this some fucked up shit, bruh. This some fucked up stuff, man. He owed me. He owed me, bro. He owed me. And he got up, and me and my homeboys got the clutch. And he's like, man, he put his hands up in the air like, man, I ain't finna do nothing, man. But this some whole shit, man. This some whole shit, man. Hey, I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you. He talked to the white boy. I'm gonna get you. I swear to God, I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you, dog. I'm gonna get you. And he walked out. So we all looking like, what the just happened? So I'm looking at the white one like, hey, so is he telling the truth? Is there any truth for what he's saying? He was like, man, yeah, it's true. But I didn't know that he wanted to have sex with me. I said, no, hold up. Before we even get to all that, is it true? Did he send his homeboys to protect your mama? Yes or no? He was like, yeah. I said, listen, man, why didn't you tell me all this in the beginning? Could this complicate things like this? I can't intervene in this. He was like, but, man, he never told me what he wanted. I said, listen, man, this prison, look, I'm going to holler at him again on a one-on-one tip, but, dog, I don't know about, I said, hold on, give me a minute. So me and the homies, we went back in the back of the library, and we had a meeting. I'm like, so what's up, y'all? What should we do? Should we hold him down or let him go? And, half was like, yo, as long as that money keep coming, shit, we'll protect him. And some of the other guy was like, nah, that ain't, all money ain't good money, D. So we had a dilemma. So I go back to him. I'm like, listen, man, in order for us to protect you, and you see how real it is now, you gonna have to give us a rack a week. At least $1,000 a week. He like, man, I can't do that, man. My mama ain't got that type of money. I said, listen, man, you already see how this dude is. And, I gotta, if me and my homies gotta do something to this dude, which we probably is, we gonna end up having to go to the hole, and I gotta take care of my guy. So, hey, can you do 800, at least 800 a week? He like, well, I'm gonna have to call my grandma and see what they can do. I said, well, listen, you gonna have to do that. Matter of fact, hey, Al was like, what's up? I said, hey, go get a phone, man. So Al go get the phone. I said, listen, you gonna have to call your people, man, and tell them that you need at least 800, because you really, you got us into some real shit, man. So he like, all right. So Al come back with the phone, and he called his grandparents, and he let them know the situation, whatever, and they agreed. They're saying an extra 200, so that's 800. So I'm like, all right, listen, man, as long as that bread is coming in, you good, you straight. So he like, all right, bet. So for the next 3 months, he was paying every week on time, every Friday. That 800 was there. And I break it down 5 ways to give it, divvy it out to the homies, right? And in the meantime, I was paying Big Thomas $100 on the side, every time, like, just chill, man, just chill. I know he owe you, but I'm gonna give you $100 each week until that $1,000 is paid off, plus your little interest, $600 more, to leave the dude alone. So that was working out. So one day, like I said, this has been going good for 3 months, right? So the white boy come to me about 3 months later. He like, hey, man, I appreciate everything that you know, you and your homies done did for me, man. I do appreciate y'all, man. But do you think that we can like scale it back to maybe like 500 since, you know, Big Thomas ain't after me no more? I said, what? He was like, yeah, man, you know, things happening out there, and you know what I'm saying, I really can't afford 800 no more. I said, look, he said, yeah, but before you say anything, you know, because it's all good now. It's good. You know, Thomas ain't on my ass no more. I said, listen, man, what we already got is in stone, man. This 800, the homies is relying on that. He like, man, I know, but I mean, you know, I don't really need the services no more. I said, what you say? He said, I don't really need, and I grabbed him, right? I grabbed him, and I kind of threw him against the wall. I said, what the fuck you mean you don't need the services no more? He was like, wait, hold on. I said, no, white boy, you hold on. The fuck you mean? So that's what you do? You want to use the black power here to keep your safe? And now you want to talk about you don't want to pay no more? He said, no, it ain't that. It ain't that I don't want to pay. I just can't pay that no more. You know what I'm saying? I said, man, I ain't trying to hear that shit, man. Get my motherfucking money, man. That motherfucking 800 better be there. It better be there. He like, all right, man, all right. So I said, hey, if you think Big Thomas was scary, don't go get my motherfucking money. He was like, all right, man, okay. And he walked off. Now, I know what y'all thinking. Some of y'all like, come on, Donta, why you gon', hey, listen, y'all, this is a business. This is a business. I can't, so if I let him just stop paying, or even just let him do the 500, that might stop everybody else feel like, well, I ain't got to pay him no more. Well, maybe I can just undercut him. Nah, it don't work like that, y'all. This is prison. Your word is your bond. Like Scarface says, I don't break two things, my balls or my word. And that's just what it was. So if I allow him to skip out and lower the price, come on, man. And especially if that got around, that'll make me look weak, right? So I don't want to hear, oh, Donta, y'all wrong. Y'all evil. No. This just what it is. We wouldn't be in this predicament if he wouldn't never agree for Big Thomas to protect his people out on the outside. We wouldn't be in this predicament right now if he couldn't hold his own. And this is why I say this is the difference between a white boy and a white man. Now I'm dealing with a white boy, okay? So I don't want to hear that, y'all. So next thing you know, he come to me about 20 minutes later, and he was like, yeah, we still on, man. We still on. We still on. I said, all right. Now, because it's Thursday, y'all. It's Thursday evening. You know, every Friday that money got to hit on that green dot, right? So he said, yeah, it's still on, man. I apologize, man. So I said, all right, man, don't do that shit no more. Don't do that. So he like, oh, okay. So he peel off, right? So we in the unit, and I'm making a big old spread. I'm talking about a glory spread, right? You talking about the nacho chips, right? They didn't give us the Doritos. They gave us like these off-brand chips, whatever. So I got the nachos chips, right? Spread it, right? Got the jalapeno cheese squeeze all through that thing, right? Got the jalapenos, got the hamburger meat that's chopped up, the summer sausages. I'm talking about the whole spread, the fresh lettuce, the onions, the bell peppers that I purchased out the kitchen last night. I got the cream, what's that called? What's that called when you put on the tacos? Whatever it's called. I got that on there, right? So I made enough for the whole unit. I'm talking about we got 3 tables put together. Big old spread, right? Because every once in a while, I would do that. It ain't nothing but 20 dudes in this unit, right? So, you know, every once in a while, I'll bless the pot, right? So we all down there eating. Even the white boy over here, right? Because he done got transferred to my unit like 2 months ago, just in case. Because he was in there. He was in the unit with Big Thomas, but you know I had him moved over here with us or whatever, right? for his safety. So he even over there, he eating on the spread or whatever, right? And it almost feel like home. You know what I'm talking about? It almost feel like home, just a little bit, right? So we all just down there kicking and laughing, eating the spread or whatever, right? Now, on Thursdays, we usually, it's this one guy named Michael, right? Michael Tufflin. And shout out to Michael Tufflin, right? He'll let us rock out to like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, right? On third shift. As long as there ain't nobody doing no bullshit, right? So we in there just rocking out. So keep in mind, y'all, I forgot to tell y'all, every Friday, like around 12:30, 12:45, his people send that money on the green dot, right? So I'm not even paying attention. It's like 1 o'clock in the morning, right? And the homie Al, he really was in charge of the money aspect of, checking on the money and the green. That's all the money coming in. So he roll up, he like, hey, Dante, that money ain't hit. So I'm like, what are you talking about? He was like, the white boy, his money ain't hit yet, and it's won something. I said, oh, okay. Now, usually, his money hit, like I said, every Friday, like clockwork for the last 3 months, between midnight and 12:30, right? So it's 1 o'clock. So I'm like, well, I ain't going to really trip on. So I call him over. I'm like, hey. He like, what's up, D? I said, that money ain't hit yet. He was like, maybe it's going to come. It's going to come. I'm like, okay, all right. Right. So we locking it down now. Everybody going to their cell. So we all in our cells, but I go to sleep. I got a full stomach, right? Next morning come, right? Now they usually pop the doors at 6 a.m., but the doors ain't popped. So I'm like, man, what's up with? I'm like, hey, CO, hey, what's going on? And one of my homeboys yelled down a tear like, man, we on lockdown. I'm like, what? So I'll hurry up and go to my window, but I see dudes on the yard because that's the first morning movement. And I'm like, well, the whole prison ain't like this niggas outside. And they're like, no, we just on lockdown. So I'm like, hey, Dep, what's up? What's going on? And they like, well, we doing a transfer. I said, transfer? They like, yeah, the white boy leaving. I said, what? What white boy? And he was like, well, I'll get back with you later. So I'm like, hey man, where Mikey at? It was like, oh, he left. He left like an hour ago. I said, what? So I'm like, hey, Al, man, hey. So I'm making all type of noise to everybody waking up. I'm talking to the crew. I'm like, hey, man, the white boy done checked out. The white boy done left. Are they like, what? I said, that's why we on lockdown, because he checking out, right? So now when the checkout come, when he checking out, he's still in the cell. He just not saying nothing, right? He quiet. They about to go get the cart or whatever and come pack him out, right? To get his stuff together and leave out. So here it go. They come with the pack. He ain't saying nothing, right? So they open his door and I like, hey, Mike, hey, what's up? He like, man, I ain't got the money. He walking past, right? And dudes trying to throw some. I'm like, hey, y'all, no, chill out, man, chill. Don't do nothing to him. Y'all chill out. So I grabbed him through the bar. I'm like, man, what's up, man? What's up, man? Talk to me. He was like, man, I can't pay no more. I said, so you gonna check out? You gonna do that? He like, man, I just can't pay. I can't pay no more. I said, all right, bet, right? So people calling him this, calling him that, and the guards, they get him up out of there, right? So about 2 hours will go by, and we get off a lockdown, right? As soon as we hit the breakfast chow, right, Big Thomas is right there. He right there. He like, hey, what's up, D? I said, what's up, man? He said, yeah, your boy with me. I said, what? He said, yeah, Mikey, he with me. I said, what you mean? He was like, he's back with me, and we all good. We straight. I said, so he checked out and He said, yeah, he moved in back with me. And, just letting you know that. I said, oh, okay. All right, bet. So we going to cut the story right there. The next story I'm going to give y'all is about Big Thomas, of who he was in the street and how he got to prison and how he became who he is in prison now. Now, look, y'all, instead of Mikey paying me, he decided he just wanted to go back to Big Thomas. He just decided instead of paying all this money, what, 8, 16, 24, 3,200 a month, he felt like, well, fuck it. I just roll with Big Thomas. And, well, he did. Hey, don't forget to hit the like button, y'all. Y'all stay tuned. If you enjoyed this story time, make sure you leave me a tip. Also, if you forgot to hit the like button, make sure y'all smash that like button and share this video and hype the video. Make sure y'all check out my Amazon wish list. I got some items in there that I need purchased. So y'all make sure y'all look out for y'all big partner. If you can't get enough of these stories, I made another channel. I'm gonna have that link pinned at the top of the comment section too and in the description. Until next time, take care.